In sports, being the best is not just a matter of prestige, it's a powerful way to sell. It's the world champion. Being second has no value, you have to fight for first place. The GT40, which dominated the 24 hours of Le Mans, not only made a strong impression of course, but also boosted Ford's sales. Win on Sunday, sell on Monday. People are willing to invest in what symbolizes their idol's victory. Just think of Michael Jordan and his partnership with Nike, or Hamilton's association with Mercedes, boosting sales of AMG models, embodying speed and innovation. And Nissan understood this very well. Struggling in the 1990s, one car would change everything: the Nissan R32 GT. Designed to dominate the tracks, it quickly established itself as a benchmark in performance and technology. Today, we're going to retrace the incredible story of one of the most legendary cars ever made. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to discover how the R32 GTR revolutionized motorsport and continues to fascinate enthusiasts around the world. Here is Godzilla. It all began with the Prince Motor Company, a Japanese manufacturer that, in the 1950s and 60s, stood out for its bold innovations. It was in 1957 that Prince launched the first Skyline. Now, it's far from what we know today, of course, but it's an elegant sedan equipped with a 1.5-liter engine. We'll have to wait patiently. 1964 is when things started to speed up with the introduction of the Prince Skyline 2000 GT, a racing model designed by Prince to win the second Japanese Grand Prix. To do this, Prince decided to extend the wheelbase by 200 mm to make room for it, a straight 6 engine, the trademark of the Skyline lineage. 1966 was a turning point for Prince Motor Company, which merged with Nissan. This union made it possible to combine Prince's technical expertise with Nissan's resources, paving the way for even higher performing models. So it's time for our Skyline to continue its evolution under the Nissan banner. The first Skyline GTR was unveiled in 1969, known by the codename PGC-10. We find our inline 6-cylinder engine again, this time producing 160 horsepower. This 4-door sedan is designed for competition, and in fact its success is immediate. It instantly racks up victories on Japanese circuits. In 1971, a 2-door coupe version, the KPGC-10, made its appearance, continuing to perform just as well. And something is going to happen that will send Nissan into an endless downfall. In the mid-1970s, production of the GTR was halted. But then, why? Well, the energy crisis of the 1970s deeply impacted the global automotive industry, and Nissan was no exception. The rise in oil prices pushed competitors to rethink their models, and the problem for Nissan was that every attempt ended in commercial failure. They tried hard to make more fuel-efficient models, and some changes would be considered. This made the Skyline lose its sporty character, turning it into a more conventional sedan, and the Skyline lost its appeal, and the Z-Series became too heavy, moving the brand away from models for driving enthusiasts. It would take until 1985 for the brand to catch its breath again. With the appointment of Yutaka Kume as president, Kume, aware of the critical situation, implemented a deep internal restructuring. He wants to break away from the bureaucracy that is holding the company back and listen more to the customers. He is driven by a desire to create bolder designs. He thinks big and sets out to make Nissan a leader through innovation and performance. Years later, this would prove to be the best possible decision. It is in this context that Project 901 is born, a plan aimed at positioning Nissan as the world leader in automotive performance by 1990. A risky project with very tight deadlines, so this project focuses on the development of chassis, engine, suspension and quality for all models. Still with the same ambition, Nissan founded Nismo in 1984, short for Nissan Motorsport. For those who haven't guessed, it's the division dedicated to high performance and motorsports. Kume has just laid the foundations for a new era for Nissan. Facing domination by the Germans with the BMW M3 and by the Americans with the Ford Sierra in Group A, well, the Japanese had to do something, which is understandable, because being dominated by foreigners at home must have been nothing short of humiliating. Well, we're not going to dwell too much on the DR30 and R31 models launched by Nissan because, well, the results just weren't there, and the situation was becoming quite concerning. So, to turn things around, our friends at Nissan acquired a Porsche 959 in order to study it in detail. Considered one of the most technologically advanced cars of its time, it already had all-wheel drive and a powerful twin-turbo engine. In short, Nissan wanted to take inspiration from it to create a racing beast for us. By the way, let me take this opportunity. If you're enjoying the video, don't hold back. Give me a like, it really helps with the rankings. Anyway, let's get back to it. It was at this moment that revolutionary systems came to life, like the Atiza ETS, a formidable electronic all-wheel drive system developed by Nissan. To put it simply, sensors monitor the wheel speed, grip, and other parameters in real time. Let's take an example. The car can operate as a rear-wheel drive, and this system allows, in case of loss of grip, to send torque to the front wheels to maximize traction. We also see the introduction of the Super Hikaz, an active four-wheel steering system. The rear wheels turn slightly, matching the front wheels at high speeds for stability, or turning opposite at low speeds, to improve handling, allowing for reduced understeer or oversteer. And as you might guess, these innovations will be integrated into the design of the R32 GTR. In this model, you'll find the electronic RB26 DET engine, a 2.6-liter inline-six equipped with 2 turbochargers. So, officially, its power is limited to 280 horsepower to comply with the gentleman's agreement between Japanese manufacturers. Yeah, an agreement created due to the increase in accidents related to excessive speeds. They didn't mention it might also be due to street racing in the Tuji. Anyway, I say officially because unofficially, it was making about 310 horsepower. It's after a long development that we get the legend we all know, the Nissan Skyline R32 GTR. The interior is performance focused, removing unnecessary elements to emphasize essentials. The bodywork, designed to be lightweight and aerodynamic, prioritizes efficiency and performance. You can see Nissan's commitment to creating a sports car. To participate in the championship, Nissan had to produce at least 5,000 units in less than 12 months following the Group A requirements. This ensured that the model was truly a production vehicle and not a prototype reserved for competition. And to maximize performance, Nissan launched a special edition, the Nismo. Produced in 560 units, this version included specific aerodynamic and mechanical improvements, such as more robust steel turbochargers and body modifications to optimize performance on the track. Well, the entry of the R32 into competition did not go unnoticed. Yeah, really not at all, since between 1990 and 1993 it dominated the competition in the Touring Car Championship. And it didn't just rack up a lot of wins, it literally won every race. 29 races, 29 consecutive victories over 4 seasons. That R32 in blue Calsonic livery has probably already caught your eye. It took part in the 29 win streak by winning more than half of them. Well, you can guess it, but the car's technological advancements gave it a considerable advantage to the point where driving an R32 was almost considered cheating. But the supremacy of the R32 wasn't limited to Japan. In 1991, it triumphed at the 24 Hours of Spa in Belgium, beating renowned competitors like Porsche and BMW. That same year, it made its debut in Australia, quickly dominating the Australian Touring Car Championship, the ATCC. It's unstoppable. Drivers Jim Richards and Mark Skaife win the titles in 1991 and 92, as well as the famous Bathurst races in 91 and 92, and in light of these achievements, the Australian press gave it the nickname Godzilla, in reference to its Japanese origin and its monstrous domination on the tracks. Many people think that the nickname Godzilla applies to the entire Skyline lineup, but that's not quite the case. In reality, this name is specifically associated with the R32 GT. The overwhelming dominance of the R32 had major repercussions on the championships where it competed. In Australia, for example, since manufacturers couldn't compete, the organizers changed the technical rules, which led to the creation of the V8 supercars, to restore some fairness in racing. In fact, in this championship, the overwhelming dominance of the R32 pushed other manufacturers to withdraw, as they were tired of being constantly humiliated. More broadly, the FIA tightened its regulations to restore competitive balance. This is understandable because the Ford Sierra, for example, being rear-wheel drive, was at a great disadvantage. Regarding all-wheel drive systems, the changes made were intended to limit the advantages provided by all-wheel drive systems and turbo engines. Well, that's bad news for our R32 with its Atesa system and twin-turbo. On a global level, the performance of the R32 strengthened Nissan's reputation as a performance brand, demonstrating its ability to produce vehicles capable of competing with and surpassing the best in the world. The arrival of the R32 in Europe is devastating. Let's head to the Nürburgring. In 1989, during a test session, the R32 achieved a time of around 8 minutes and 22 seconds, an impressive performance for that era. For comparison, the BMW M3 E46 is at 8 minutes, 22 seconds and 38 hundredths, so, well, it was up against the greatest of its time. This model ended up in the hands of a legend, a person nicknamed the Drift King. I'm talking of course about Keiichi Tsuchiya. By the way, I made a video about him on the history of drifting. I'll put the link in the description if you're interested. In the 90s, Tsuchiya drove this GTR for the STP Taisan team in the JTCC. The supremacy of this model doesn't stop there. We leave the racetracks and head into the underground culture, into the streets with a famous club from that time. For night races at over 300 km/h on the Wangan Highway connecting Tokyo to Yokohama, the Midnight Club of course. Among the vehicles used by the members, there's the famous R32 GTR, thanks to its RB26 engine, which can be modified to reach impressive power levels. In fact, Hiroshi Tamura, now a product manager at Nismo and a former member of the Midnight Club, owned one with the Midnight Car Special sticker. Even today, it's rare to find stock R32s. Most of them are modified, producing astronomical power that sometimes exceeds 1000 horsepower. Nissan's domination of the competition caused demand for this model to skyrocket, with a total of 43,000 units sold between 1989 and 1994. And yes, victory sells. Getting the same car you saw dominating the circuits every Sunday, of course, that's tempting. Its impact was so profound that it propelled Nissan onto the international stage, symbolizing the brand's revival and the renewal of Japanese cars. That's how the R32 rose to the status of an icon, not only in Japan but also around the world. Today, the industry is shifting to electric vehicles, and brands must adapt to new standards and regulations. Nissan is no exception. Concepts like the Nissan Hyperforce, a 100% electric supercar with 1341 horsepower, give us a glimpse of what the next generation could be. Whether you're a fan or not, it shows the brand's commitment to adapting to the times and to environmental standards.